Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So we got ourselves the new coat Goku. Got all the data mines and all that other fun stuff. Now, we are super curious as to where this character was when we got the coat Vegeta, because it kind of felt like they had to be a pair. I guess they wanted to save him for this moment here. Now, real quick, start him off at 7 stars, just because day one when it comes to farming these characters, they usually let you get them to 7 stars. And then the remainder usually come from, you unlock a new stage the next day, or a new mission the next day, so it takes a while. But we'll just see what his end state will be at 14 stars. And right off the bat, definitely is a defensive type. His offensive stats are a little bit lower, but his defensive stats are not that bad, especially for a free character. Being in the mid 160s isn't the worst thing in the world. Now, main ability, give us back the Dragon Balls, draw a special arts card next, restore own health by 15% and ki by 40, take your opponent's Dragon Balls and add them to your own. Depending on how many they have, you will get one of the following effects. If they have 2 or more, you will gather 2, gain 2 to your Rising Rush. If they only have 1, then you'll take 1 and gain 1 for yourself. And if they have none, you get nothing at all. So exactly like Demon King Piccolo, the yellow one that has Zenkai Awakening, this is actually a pretty strong main ability if you ask me, mainly because of how Rising Rush centric our current meta is, where a Rising Rush, early or late, pretty much decides who wins the match. I think a lot of us can say that if you get rushed and then your rush gets guessed, you kind of lost, especially with all these double endurance revival teams and stuff like that. Losing 1 unit or 1 extra vanish against all that is so detrimental that you're at such a crippling disadvantage that you probably lost. So being able to take that away or get an early one for yourself is a pretty good buff. Now, his first passive, the gloves are off. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Restore 30 ki, 50% to damage inflicted, which cannot be stacked, and reduces damage received by 40%, which cannot be stacked. 40% is quite high, especially for a free character. So 165k defenses, 40% reduced damage received. Those two things paired together, he'll to handle damage pretty good. I think it'll be noticeable for sure. He can take a punch. And then applies the following effects to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed from the beginning of the battle. So after 20 timer counts, you restore 5% of your health and get a permanent 10% damage inflicted. After 30, you get the same buff. And after 40, it's the same buff again. So ultimately, after 40 timer counts, you're going to restore 15% of your health and stack up to 30% damage inflicted. Pairs pretty well with that 50% back up there. So 80% damage inflicted for a character with, some mid to 20s offenses. He'll do okay. He's not going to look overly impressive or just be like a wow, holy crap, this guy he beat the crap out of that dude. But at least he won't feel like he's hitting like a wet noodle. He'll look okay. Second passive, Resolute Warrior, inflicts enemy with the attribute downgrade +5 to strike and blast arts cost for 10 timer counts when he's changing cover. And while this character is on the battlefield, the following effects occur every time the enemy uses an arts card. Restore ki by 5, 10% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and 5% to damage inflicted by allies for 20 timer counts up to 20. Not really a fan of this support buff right here. I would much prefer if it was just 20% for 20 timer counts if you swapped away. I'm not a big fan of having to battle for your supported buff, so I guess that's whatever. But the rest of this is very reminiscent of the purple Super Saiyan God Goku. He did something similar to this. If you change cover, your enemy's strike and blast cards went up 25 points. Sorry, 25 cost. I think all their cards went up 25. For Goku to do only 5, very similar to him. And then he also got stronger every time he took a hit. I think for Goku it's 25% versus the 10% that this Goku gets, but it's kind of funny seeing how similar this is, especially when you factor in this dude's strike card. His animation is the exact same as the purple Super Saiyan God Goku. So kind of funny how that comes together. Strike and blast cards are the same. This blue card deals major impact damage and applies a 20% to damage inflicted buff upon activation. This green card restores 40 ki and a 25% to damage inflicted by allies buff for 20 timer counts. That's pretty high for a green card, so that's not bad at all. C ability, I was hoping he'd be a max HP buffer for Sun Family, but it looks like he's going to be Movie Saga, Strike Attack and Defense, and if you're an event exclusive plus Movie Saga character, an additional 18 Blast Defense, so pretty much coat Goku. Coat Vegeta as well. Not too bad. He seems like a decent free character. I don't really see him being the purple slot for many teams unless you're very desperate for a purple, but he's not bad. All free characters are welcome. Now after him, we're going to be getting a Legends Return banner for Super Vegeta, who just got his Zenkai Awakening. And when we saw this in the data mines, I'm not going to lie, I actually thought this character was going to be getting a Zenkai soon as well, because he really missed the mark. He's a very cool character with awesome animations, but man oh man, does he not really fit the Legends Limited tag. He just couldn't tank very well, didn't deal significant damage. It felt like he kind of dropped the ball. So I thought this is going to be a Zenkai Awakening, but it's not. It's in preparation for this. Just like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku gets a platinum equipment that gives him significant buffs. Goku lacked defense, just overall tankiness, damage. He really just felt like, I don't know, not even a glass cannon, just glass. He was so fragile and he didn't really hurt that badly. So on all fronts, they decided to buff that up. His first slot's going to give up to 15% max health and up to 35% strike defense and blast defense. So that's already solving a big problem that he had, which is tankiness. His second slot is going to be giving up to 8% pure strike attack and blast attack per GT battle member, or up to 8% to strike and blast attack for each Sun family battle member. That's huge. Up to 8% strike or blast pure, by the way, and the difference between base and pure is when the buff is being applied. One is versus the end of the calculation, whereas one is at the beginning. The base flatline stats that you have versus the one at the end where all the other buffs and benefits are applied to it. So ultimately pure works out to be better. So up to 8% per battle member is pretty high. And then he also has a 20% up to 20% damage inflicted buff and pretty much a guaranteed 10% ultimate and special move buff. So overall, they definitely worked on all of his faults. Is this going to be enough for him to be the threat that he should be? I don't really know. We're going to have to try him out in battle, but to see that he got an equipment of this caliber helping him out, it's pretty damn good. Not going to lie though, I was hoping that he was going to get another passive on his third slot that would have him restore Vanish every time your opponent swap characters, because he's a bit of a tricky character to use. His green card throws your opponent away, which complements him getting a damage inflicted buff for your allies. But he struggles to stay on the field, really. If he restored Vanish every time your opponent swapped out, at the very least you do a better job of just staying on the field, buffing up your whole team, and just being the oppressive force he should have been. So, I don't know, I wish they added that there, but I'm not going to complain. This is still pretty good. Now after that, there is another equipment here. It's going to come with the Goku event. Up to 10% strike defense, up to 20% blast or strike attack, depending on which you roll, and up to 10% max HP. Pretty good. Anytime you get an offensive stat plus max health, it's pretty good equipment. Those two things are very valuable. And then we're also going to be getting a new hyperdimensional co-op against Super Saiyan Broly, and a raid against the full power Broly, with the boost characters being obviously the new LF or a Movie Saga character. So looks like some fun stuff. Farm up some more CC for whatever's coming out next. I wonder if the platinum equipment pretty much hints towards GT being relevant in some way as the next part of the celebration. I don't really know, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the new Coat Goku in PvP. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If you guys are looking forward to some Minute 1 showcases of what these new units can do, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be getting to those right when we can. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.